Maxim Lapierre fakes an injury against the New York Rangers in their series. The Rangers now lead that series 3-1. We'll be talking about should the NHL being upping fines, making faking injuries more serious? How come he hasn't been fined yet? And the entire playoff picture. We're going over that and more right here on In the Crease with Tommy C. Welcome, everybody. It's In the Crease with Tommy C. I'm Tommy C. And to my right, none other than Chicago, Dead on Dave. Welcome back, Dead on Dave.
Hello.
I don't want to get into it too quickly. My lighting's all fucked up tonight. I don't know what it is. I don't want to get to. I'll be quick and honest. Dave was hurt last night, and I could not open my eyes. I apologize to absolutely everybody. When you see it's a show canceled, and I've never actually canceled a show like that without an explanation. That's legit. That was me that changed it. I apologize for not putting out anything on Google Plus or Facebook, but it just had to be that way. I could not function. So
happens to the best of us.
Couldn't do it. Maybe we'll have a little surprise for you tomorrow. Maxim Lapierre. Now, I don't want to pick on him specifically. Maybe I do. But I tell you something. This is Rick Nash, and I'm on history for this stuff. I hate that stuff, and faking injuries, I think it's even worse. It's so Italian soccer that I can't stand it. I do think to some extent the NHL's had success with their new fining system, especially when they decided to go public, but I think this is the time of year where it doesn't matter whether it's public or not, because there's so much on the line. Does the NHL have to look into possibly looking into suspensions for stuff like this? Because this is blatant.
Absolutely.
And you could have even made the case it was a penalty. But
there's no question in my book. You can't dive. You can't fake injuries. You can't do these things. Can't do them.
If they
can't do them, and in the playoffs even more so, because it can really be game changing.
If you don't think this means something to your sport, let me remind you that this was not always the case in FIFA. Yes, in all sorts of goal post-to-post sports, guys tend to try to draw penalties. But the rolling around did not come as common until the late 70s. This could very easily come to our sport. And that's one of the reasons we like it. So don't listen to guys like Ryan Lampert and tell you it's no big deal. It's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Because guys like Ryan Lampert and Greg Wishes, you want to change the culture. And this is still a cultural faux pas. Yeah, people have done it. People have always done it. But it's gotten more extreme over the years. Mike Ribeiro being the most extreme. I think this ranks right up there. And, I'd like to see, look, I don't like taking money away from athletes unless they do something pretty serious. And certainly diving doesn't hurt anybody physically. I think that's but I got to be honest with you. They're going to do it. I don't know that I wouldn't do it if a Stanley Cup was on the line. I don't know. Maxim Lapierre. Lapierre. No, I mean, I'm goofing on him now. Look, he's been a spark plug. He's trying to get that team goal, and he's going to do absolutely anything he can to get to win. I get that and respect it to an extent. But like I said, I want to see this stuff. I mean, it's already a cultural no-no. Let's make it a legal no-no. Let's make it not worth doing it.
Bottom line, we know that NHL players are going to continue to try to look for advantages. If it means diving, they're going to do it. What the NHL has to do, and I think they've done a pretty good job of it in the regular season, is discourage it and make it as difficult on the player, and if so, the team, as humanly possible. Because sometimes it's not enough just to administer a penalty or a fine for it. Make the team suffer. Have the guy go out a game. I guarantee that'll be the last time it happens. Sit him a game and see what happens. That'll stop it real quick.
All right. I gotta get that. I just saw this in the video, and I want to kind of squeeze this because we do have a new Germinator. He's a new guy to our program, and there's he's in a little argument right now. And by the way, I don't have a problem with him sticking up for himself. And I guess Little Listido, when I used my French accent, took that as license to call all French people pussies. Well, I got to be honest with you, little Lestito, and showing he's not and Germain Dion, he is not a pussy. He's sticking up for himself like anybody should, like I would if somebody called Americans that.
Sure.
Tone it down a little bit. Jamon,
Well, they're making an accent. That means
Jamon. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. We do a lot of bull busting on here, and we do base it on our ethnic backgrounds. I'm no different. We make fat American jokes. We do French Canadian jokes. Frenchie Ben could tell you stuff like that. Nobody's picking on you.
Yeah, Tommy's a drunk Irishman.
It's a bull busting community. Let me give you a perfect example. Here's our bumper for one of our shows.
He's drunk and Irish as can be in gambling with Tommy C.
Now, that being said, if anybody calls you a pussy, you have more than enough right to stick up for yourself. But do keep in mind, we're ball busters over here. And
don't be afraid to drop les bombs.
Hey, don't be afraid to stick up for yourself either. And I don't get that. But I don't want to get you the idea. This is not some racist horse shit. No. This is just the way we operate. We bust balls. We bunch Frenchie's balls. I bust Dave's balls. That's the way it goes. So I don't want things getting out of control, just to let you know.
And by the way, just because you say blah, 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 that's not free reign for a race war, people. Calm down, huh?
Look. Do we do racist jokes? Yes. I mean, but are we racist and hateful? Absolutely not. We're
no.
Busting. So just keep it, keep it cool. Keep it cool.
Simmer.
That's it. You gotta take this stuff with look. Everybody wants to act like at work this way. You can't. So you can do it over here. That's the idea.
Yeah,
Let's moving on. Let's go into some of the series days. I don't want to see I don't like seeing people fight over stuff like that.
I was about to say, wait a second.
Mr. Dion, wait till you see Black Mamba. Then you're really going to get that guy's completely insane. So it's just the way it goes. Thanks for being on board. I do appreciate it. Let's go over some of the series. First series I got a 9 on the NHL, the NHL.com website. We'll just go straight through. The Blues and the Minnesota North Stars. That's right. I said North Stars. Well, the Blues blew it up last night, and they had this is the best possible thing. They may have turned around the series, and not only that, I think it's really serious that Devin Dubnyk was pulled. And I think traditionally when something like that happens, and unless there's like an immediate bounce back, it could spell death for a team. Even though I considered Minnesota sort of a dark horse team to go through. And I think one of the reasons I like St. Louis is I think they're capable of this every night. But for some reason, it just clicks once in a while. I think this is pretty serious, and if unless Devin has a serious bounce back, not only will they be eliminated from the playoffs, but they're going to be looking at him like they are Hammy in Ottawa. Was this a freak? How do you feel about that?
Well, look, the series is 2-2. All right, you've ridden and died with Dubnyk all season. You're going to continue to do so. I say you put him back in Game 5. You do not give him any reason to think that the confidence of the team is not behind him. If he shows any sign that he's not over that game, you pull him. You pull him because, let's face it, he gave up 6 goals on 17 shots. That's not good.
No,
that's not good. But, however, this guy has been stellar, and he's been the spark plug that has really helped this team really go off. But this is not all on him. Defense played like horseshit, and St. Louis played maybe their best hockey, definitely of the playoffs, maybe all season. When they play like that, nobody's touching them.
Yeah, I do. I really thought these guys were a serious Stanley Cup contender all season, but they've gone through stints where they weren't that effective, where the team didn't even seem to know what the coach wants. They weren't all on the same page, and they went into this series. They sort of limped into the series in a way. And I have a lot of concerns for the Blues. What the concerns I don't have about the Blues is their talent. You look at this roster, TJ Oshie, David Backes, they're well balanced.
As talented as anyone.
They're gritty, they're mean. Shattenkirk, I mean, these guys are scary hockey players. But for some reason, things don't always seem to gel. It makes me suspicious. I'm going to put my tinfoil dick on. Locker room issues. I think, I don't know that for a fact. I wouldn't say for sure, but that makes me wonder sometimes, is there guys that are playing with each other, don't really like each other. Is there not a brotherhood there? That makes me wonder about the Blues. But I do think the Blues have the talent to win the Stanley Cup 10 times over. That's my
I think
opinion.
so too. You know what? It could come down to as an overconfidence thing where they're playing down to opponents, and we've seen that in the year and throughout the season. They have played down to teams they should have been stepping on, and they'll play down to some opponents. Minnesota is showing they could skate with anybody.
Yeah.
They really can. This is a very talented team, and they can sneak up on you. I think Minnesota wins this series.
Oh, really? Well, I wouldn't be
do.
shocked. I actually took the Minnesota in my game, in the game we're playing right now, and because I do think they're darks, and I think they're a horrible matchup for the Blues. But if the Blues play like that, I mean, it goes without saying. I mean, they won 6-1. It sounds kind of like almost like hindsight's 2020. I do think the Blues can not only do this, do some serious damage. One thing to bring up, one of the things people, a lot of Ranger fans give me shit, sometimes privately too, like, why are you so hard on the Rangers? It's little things like face-offs and stuff like that, and being grit. And I said, well, here's what I know, because I've seen a lot of championships in my 38 years on Earth. I noticed teams fly through the first round. Yeah. Now, well, LA didn't. Yeah, that's true. But if you look at the great majority of Stanley Cup champions, they usually fly through the first round, or the first or the second round. When the New York Rangers won it in 1994, the Islanders, their first round, considered a bad draw because of local rival, a team that always plays up. The Rangers blew them out the doors like they weren't even there. Ron Hexall, goodbye. Yeah. I still believe in that, and even if it's not 100% true, or only 90% true, or maybe even 80% true, the less games you play, the better shape you're in for a tough Western or Eastern Conference final. One of the things Wayne Gretzky said this recently, he's like, we cruised. We didn't really start playing until then the Campbell or Wales Conference, Western and Eastern for newer fans, until it began. That's when their series began, because they just blew guys out. And this is, a team that won, 4 out of 5 Stanley Cups in a 5-year period. And I think 5 out of 7-year period. So So I really do think that's important. That's one of the things I'm so hard on the Rangers now, and I think that this should be taken into account with teams like the St. Louis Blues. Moving on to the next series, Chicago Blackhawks with the Nashville Predators. Chicago leads the series 3-1. I don't really think there's much to talk about here. I think the biggest thing is Darling's moving into the number one role. His handling that with ease and grace. I don't want to crap on the Preds, because they're a young team. They're a new team. They're very well coached. I think Peter Laviolette's done a fantastic job. Certainly a guy that would have it as a Jack Adams candidate. I think he's a reasonable Jack Adams candidate. And but I think the experience, and then of course the injuries have just stacked up. I honestly think that Chicago moves on in this in this series. But as bad as a first round exit is, this could be some growing pains for a great future for this team.
I agree. You've got to lose to win in the playoffs. It's real simple. You've got to have heartbreak to come back and really gel together and win the next season. And this Predators team is going to be together for a long time. This is a good team. They're gelling together. They got some young guys, no experience. Let's face it. They fade down the stretch. They limped into the playoffs. They got the worst possible draw. And they played hard with the Hawks. This series could easily be 3-1 the other way. If you look at the games, it could easily be 3-1 the other way. They played very hard, and this is going to be a good thing for them.
These were not blowouts.
No,
they played up to the Chicago Blackhawks. These were never blowouts at any time.
The only blowout was the one they won.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, that's true. That's true. The one they won. So, and that they took Chicago off guard. One of the things I hate to see use like a modern analytics Corsi reference, because I don't necessarily believe in it, but if I do believe in any team, it's the Chicago Blackhawks, and here's why. Not only are they able to control the puck, they're able to get it in those places where you can score. Look at the Edmonton Oilers and even the Boston Bruins, who can handle the puck quite well and carry it for long periods of time. It doesn't matter if you can't get in the place that are hot spots, so to speak. And that. I'm going to go on to the next series. So please stand by with the phone calls. We'll get to them as soon as we go through all the series, because I want to make sure. The one of the series that is over right now, the Winnipeg Jets, were pretty much taken down by the Anaheim Ducks, another team. The Jets didn't exactly get blown out in any of these series. They scored first in the last game that they were eliminated in. I think the fans actually gave them a standing O on the way out. If you look at the webpage right here, I'll put this on the board for you right now. The Winnipeg Jets fan get third star of the game in Winnipeg. It's unfortunate they couldn't win one at home, but this team with some moves in a couple years. I don't think they're going to be good like the Predators like next year. Could be a very.
It wouldn't
dangerous
surprise
team.
me if they made a jump next year.
I think they'll make a jump to the second round. I don't see them. I don't see them actually totally dominating or doing anything like that. But there are there's a team with grit, heart. They need a little bit of discipline. You got to cut down on the penalties, and some of these guys got to grow up. Guys like Dustin Buffalo got to grow up. Ducks. Here's the thing about the Ducks. We know about Ryan Getzlaf. We know about Corey Perry. We know that they've won Stanley Cups. We know it's their team now, 100%. We know they have the skill to win the Stanley Cup. But I don't trust the Ducks down the road, even though they did exactly what they needed to do. Yeah. They needed exactly what they needed to do. I'm just not confident with their goaltending situation. But if they're going to prove people wrong, the best thing to do is sweep the Jets away, and that's exactly what they did.
Let's face it, they got the best draw possible for them. They got a team that they can match up well, and Winnipeg played hard, but they were just outmatched. Here's the reality of it. Anaheim going forward, they have to be worried because they simply don't do anything spectacularly. They do a couple things well. They can get the puck into the net decently. They killed the penalty okay, but other than that, they don't do anything spectacularly, and that's got to scare you if you're coaching this team, and it's got to make you really happy if you're playing them in the next round. So Ducks could be in trouble moving forward, but they got a good sweep. They did what they had to do. They took care of business against a team they should have beaten. So,
and I agree with you. Yeah, exactly. They should have. And I got to be honest with you. I thought the Jets would win a game just because
I did too. I think I picked them.
I think the Ducks. Yeah, I think I picked them too stupidly. I got too cocky with that. I got sucked into the Canada stuff. I'll be perfectly honest with you. But hats off to the Jets.
I did it for you, Terry.
Hats off to the Jets. Nothing but respect and pride should be in Winnipeg right now. And I think for the most part that's the case. There really should be no anger.
No.
Wait a couple years before you start getting pissed off at you guys. That pretty much says that. Let's go into the next series. This is the best series, in my opinion. Yes. The Vancouver Canucks versus the Calgary Flames. I expected it to be great. I expected Calgary to move on. This team over and over again is proving the analytics people wrong. That's great. I heard Barry Melrose say today, if you don't have a team in the playoffs, a la Boston Bruins, a la New Jersey Devils, or whatever your team is that's not in the playoffs, this is the team to watch. This is the team to root for. And not only that, free plug, this is the team that you probably should get Game Center for if you can't see any of their games. I think it's worth it. It's going to be fun. Even if they get eliminated next round, it's going to be fun. And I do think that the Vancouver Canucks have unraveled, even though they are a superior hockey team. And it says two things. Canucks discipline, Canucks leadership, not that good. Even though they're very talented and have two of the most talented players in the game. They're not well coached. They fell apart. They unraveled. That falls squarely on management and the coach, and possibly the general manager too for putting this team together. And that's how confident I am. I think they will move on. And it also says a lot about Calgary's first line, the Gaudreau line with what's his name, Moran? No, not Moran. Monahan. With Monahan
and Hudler.
And Hudler. Basically, their only weapon. They have some role players in the back. They're not that fast. They're not that good. They can't hold on the puck. We and you watched the game last Saturday where they were kind of choppy, and they can be outplayed. But it's just something about that line when they get on the ice, how they can create, and it just takes a lot of teams off guard because you see that little hairy troll from New Jersey, and you're just like, that kid's a punk. And if you think that too much, he's gonna put his a puck in the punk in. Devils fans calling me, so I guess I have to put him through. I told you that I got to do this stuff first. I got to go through this stuff. Then I'll take calls. What's your problem, Devils fan?
All right, so I heard you were talking about the diving thing.
Yes.
Okay.
I heard what
this couldn't wait. Dead on Dave said something.
What?
And he goes, he said, like, if they dive, suspend them for a game or something.
Yeah, sit them.
Sure. Why not?
Yeah, but this came to my mind. What if Sidney Crosby dives or like Steven Stamkos dives? Then what happens?
Him.
Everybody, I'll give you one better. You're gonna like to hear this. I think Lundqvist should be fined on his fake injury that he tried to pull on Crosby. Throw him in there. I didn't get to that. Probably most people probably think that I'm just being biased. No, I think Henrik Lundqvist should have been fined for that stunt. I was embarrassed by what he did. Especially
stars
are
not
Crosby.
exempt from this.
No, nobody's exempt from this, and so far they haven't. PK Subban got tapped twice.
Yes, he did.
So I'm all for upping it, especially during the playoffs. I'm for upping it next year and then doubling it in the playoffs. That's
A
how
message
serious
has got to get
this
sent
one,
before it gets out of hand.
It's not even like, I mean, the problem with diving, even when it's on tape, it's subjective. There's nothing subjective about this. He should be fined to the maximum, which is only like $1,000. But at least put his name out there. This is embellishment. It's against the rules. We made a rule for it, and we're going to publish your name in every paper. You're an embellisher. You're on that list. So that's the way I feel about that, bud.
Do you think that they should suspend them longer if they're like repeat offenders?
Yes, and I think they got to come up with a whole system. I don't know exactly what. I don't want to get into the things. Yeah, I think I think it's first time warning, second time fine, $5,000, $10,000, third time suspension, fourth time 2 games, and your coach gets fined. I think it should be rise all the way up. They have
they get to that third one and they sit a game. I think that's going to get the message across.
That's going to get the message across. We haven't seen PK Subban diving after he's been publicly embarrassed because he's been claiming that he hasn't been doing it for years. I mean, everybody knows that's not true. That's how I feel about it. I think if you want to go back, I think one of the most disgusting moments in the Stanley Cup final last year when Rick Nash did it. You know, it's
even though it was the only thing he did in the finals.
Yeah, it's pretty much the only thing he drew a penalty.
That's all he did.
Well, he's doing a lot of assists. I want to see him put some in the net. But
he's playing well.
Yeah, he's playing real well defensively. All right, I got to get going. I got to finish these things. I'm going to take calls. You can call back if you think of something else, by the way. All right?
Oh, one more thing. How'd you like the Ottawa game last night? I think they're going to come back and win it in 7.
You know what I think? I think what happens is Ottawa needs to listen to their coach like you.
What's the matter with people?
Millennials.
They don't follow instructions.
Millennials.
I had to get that last question.
I
know what you're saying, Tommy.
I take this question again.
I know what you're saying, but I'm going to ask this last question.
What?
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. even pressure for PK. No, I'm straight across the board with that stuff. Good question. Good call, by the way. But Jesus Christmas, I got to get through this. All right, the Calgary series really. I think they move on, but I do see Vancouver winning one more. I would actually put that.
I think they close it out in the next game.
Really? I think they're going to win one more. One more, they'll take it, and I think Calgary's going to walk and really shock everybody, except me because I'm smart.
I got to disagree with you on one thing, though.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is not the best series. This is not the best.
It's the most exciting because it's got the scraps.
It might be the most emotional.
Yes, it is.
But the best played hockey is not that. Well, it's coming when you get to it. I'll tell you.
Okay, you get it, guys. So let's talk about the next team, and you know the next team. You know them quite well. That's right. The Christ Warriors in Edmonton. Dave Comron, guided by God.
Guided by God.
They hang on against the
late goal.
The Habs. Look, they're closing this out. The Habs are closing this out. They got caught off a little guard, and as we know, there's no quit in. I did not catch this game, but there's no quit in the sense.
They're plucky.
None. They're plucky, but it's like you said, and I think they got a little confident. I don't know why they got confident. These were games that were close too. It's not like it's not like they were get blown out. They weren't like they were blowing the Sens out or anything. But the Sens managed to hang on. No, there will not be a repeat of last year. You probably won't see that for another decade or two. No. Like you did with Los Angeles and the Sharks. It's a different team. I don't see
different situation. Montreal played down a little bit. It's not like they got destroyed in this game by any stretch. They gave up a goal in the third period, lost the game. Yep. It happens. They played tough. Price had a nice game, 31 saves. This is we're talking about one game here.
One game. It's nothing.
God gave it to him, and now it's fucking over.
And I'm glad. Because
sure.
This year the story's been Canada. I just hope it doesn't finish in. Oh God, I'm not Mr. Dion. I am not a big fan of the Montreal Canadiens. Respect, history. I feel a kinship to the New York Yankees with them. But other than that, I hope you lose every game from now here on out. Bolts. Detroit leaves. It's 2-1. This series.
Why have they only played 3 games?
What's that?
They've only played 3 games.
Yeah, everybody else played like 4. They're going to game 4. Scheduling, I guess.
Bizarre.
I don't know. I don't know. That's a damn good question. This can be summed up very easily. Stamkos and the rest of the production needs to score. They're not doing it. You can't give a team as old as this team is, as much as I don't think they're much of a threat to anybody. There's still tons of talent on there. The Bolts look like they have butterflies in their stomach. They're not reacting, and they're giving They're giving the Wings a chance to get in the game, chances they can't afford
They're
to
letting
give.
them stay in it. They're letting them stay in it.
You know, we also, we had a situation where it was a blowout. So Stammy's got to score. Callahan's got to lead. They need more production, bottom line. They can beat this team, there's no doubt. But we're starting to see a pattern here with the Lightning. Not a playoff team. Good regular season team, not a playoff team. And,
I think that's fair.
That's they're like the Ducks of the East. That seems to be what they're reminding me of. But have to score. Bottom line, Stamkos is paid a lot of money. He is the star. He's right in that top 5 best players in the league. You got to do it when the games count. Otherwise, you get Rick Nash out of it. You end up in Rick Nash territory.
Look, it's plain and simple when it comes to it. You don't think the Red Wings are a threat to anybody. I disagree. This is a veteran team that knows how to win in the postseason. You give them confidence. You give them confidence.
They'll get it.
They can win this series.
I don't think they're a threat to anybody.
Much else after that, but they can win this series
if you play them like you're saying them. If I think an experienced team crushes the Red Wings. A
younger, well-playing team crushes. If the Lightning play like the Lightning did earlier in the season, they beat this team. But the fact is, they haven't. They're not getting on the power play. The Red Wings are playing better all around. And guess what? Datsuk's waking up. He had a hell of a game last game. He had 3 points, or in this series, he got 3 points or whatever.
Nobody's really talked about Datsuk all year. He's such an impact player. He is 35 or 36 years old right now.
Gray beards, baby. But that's what you want in the playoffs.
Yeah, well, he's got it. He's got it in spades, and I think he has 2 Stanley Cups, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe 3, I can't remember. He's got 2 Stanley Cups. You can't let these guys back in it. And, inexperience is showing. And you know what, though? They're kind of running out of excuses. They kind of had they were a good team last year, and they had an early round elimination. Like I said,
must win tonight for Tampa Bay.
Oh, absolutely.
Must win.
You're done because you've just given an experienced team that has a handful of guys that have rings a chance to eliminate you. Game, set, match, buddy.
Absolutely. Cannot lose this game in Detroit. Can't do it.
That's almost why I'm saying Calgary is going to probably drop a game. They haven't really eliminated anybody yet, so it's kind of a field thing. You don't know how to come out there. It's a high pressure game. The New York Rangers. I'll be perfectly honest with you in this series. The passing's been sloppy. The power play goal is not converting of them. The faceoffs weren't even all that bad in this game. The Rangers could very easily be beat by this Penguins team if they were well coached, if they were organized, if they had an identity other than we've got the stars of the game. And if Evgeny Malkin decided that he wanted to pass instead of skating through anybody. I don't know how many times that this guy's made weird turnovers on the blue line trying to Alexei Kovalov his way through everything. There's so much talent on this Pittsburgh. They are poorly coached team. And that's because I don't think the coach coaches. That's a gut feeling, tinfoil dick thing on my part. But I look, there is no excuse. They could beat this team. They could beat this team.
They could.
They
could if they had something between the boobies.
Yeah, it's hard.
They ain't got it.
I don't like saying that in front of Pittsburgh boy because he's such a good guy, but
I like him, but he knows it too.
Yeah, I think he does. He's not called up and screwed. For me, it's amazing. I really bash the Penguins all the time. And I get nothing but shit from fucking scumbag Buffalo fans.
With all the talent Pittsburgh has, they should win. But you know what? They just don't got it. Either between the ears or between the man-chesticles. One of the two, they're missing.
I want to know how Steve Downey has played game after game one. I mean, he has put them in so many bad spots and so many times. I mean, you look at the Penguins, and it's just a really dumb hockey team. They're the dumbest talented hockey team I've ever seen in my life. It's just a really dumb hockey team. This team could be vying for the Stanley Cup. There was no reason for them to back in the playoffs. Yeah. It's a joke, and their penalty killing's still sharp. But the Rangers need to start passing better. I'd like to see some more production from Martin St. Louis. I'd like to see. I know Nash is playing well, and he's got the most points for the Rangers. But here's the thing: not one goal. So I want to see. I want to see. Look, Nash was their biggest threat up front, and right now, guys like Hayes, who's turning out to be the player that you're absolutely welcome. Told me. Yeah, thank you. That he's turning out to be the player that you absolutely like. Kreider, Stepan, Hagelin, they're really picking up the weight, and that's how deep the Rangers are. But you know what? That was our big weapon all season, was Rick Nash, and he needs to be that weapon in the playoffs. He is playing more defensive-minded, and he's doing a great job. It's one of the reasons they took him on Team Canada. That he took a backseat to offensive role. There's really no reason for, when you got guys like Crosby and Tays, and he doesn't have to be a defensive thing. He uses his body instead, and I got no problem with that. But I like to see a few more shots going. I like to see him bury some of these shots, which he's more than capable of doing.
Sure.
And if there's nobody between him and the net, and it won't be a bad turnover, make that big move. I know, Rick, you want to make that big move. You want to make that big fancy, like, I'm 6'5" and I can move the puck like I'm, Patrick Kane sometimes. You can make guys look ridiculous. Rick Nash can make defensemen look ridiculous. Time it right, go for it. Let's put something in the net. I think that would really charge up the team. But hats off to Kreider, Hayes, Hagelin, Stepan. These guys are all producing consistently, evenly. That's great. Win your face-offs, convert your power plays. Otherwise, you're going to have a problem. I don't think that's going to be as big a problem if they end up facing the Islanders, because they have special teams issues over there, although I haven't checked the stats in the playoffs.
Look for a big win tomorrow night. Look for a statement closeout game tomorrow night.
Now,
I have a feeling.
Yeah, I agree. Our last and final series is, of course, in the Islanders versus the Capitals. Your favorite series so far, not
because it's by far the best series.
It's
not even close.
It's clean. That's the problem with it.
It's not only clean; it's so well played.
Brilliant.
If I'm Bettman, this is the series that I'm pointing to. Yes, the violence of the Calgary series is great to point to, but if you're trying to sell a new generation on hockey, this is the series that you point to, because this is some of the most beautiful hockey I've seen in the 5-6 years I've been watching the game.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely phenomenal. I love what I'm watching. It's entertaining. It's exciting.
It is
Two
very good.
really, really good teams that are just playing their balls off. And it's different heroes every night. It's exciting. It's storytelling. It's captivating. And nobody's talking about it.
Yeah, and Backstrom's had two overtime goals already, and nobody's talking. That's two for him, right? Backstrom. We all know that Backstrom is a very dangerous player. But I mean, this has been amazing. Tavares with the closest. You're absolutely correct. This is the beautiful game of the hockey game. If you want, they don't hate each other, trying to outskill each other. But if you really enjoy that type of thing, I have not paid as much attention. But I have to agree. You could make an argument that it is the best series. But there is not a lot of. There's not a backstory. There's not a blood. There's not a blood. This goes back. There's no major injuries. It's the kind of hockey
They're telling their story on the ice, baby.
But it doesn't sell if there's hate. Because hate sells in hockey. We don't like to talk that way, but it does.
It does.
Hate does. I mean,
violence sells. There's no question.
Look. We're joking around before. I opened up with Maxime Lapierre. I mean, that's like, I want to beat those Frenchmen, and like the same thing with like French players. I want to beat those guys in Toronto, those Englishmen. That sells. We don't like to talk about it because it has sort of a geographical or sometimes ethnic thing. But that is what sells hockey. You're not having that there, but you're getting a beautiful, beautiful. A series over there, and I think that unless you have anything more, I know this is your favorite series.
It is. I love this series. You got stars, you've got depth on each team. You got both teams that could really cause a problem to your Rangers next round. I think there's storylines galore. I absolutely love this series, and I really wish there'd be more said about them in the mainstream media, because this is the series that needs to be highlighted by the NHL. Bettman, get behind the series.
Yeah, it'd probably be a little nicer if they did. 718-395-7660, 718-395-7660, or add us to contacts, and Skype is at Shot from the Point. Wow, that was pretty good, huh?
Yeah, it was well done. It's like you've done this before.
I'm so irrelevant. I don't know how I can do it.
Yeah, we're both irrelevant. It's okay.
Well, some guy I've been chirping with the Sabres fans and what have you, and some guy wrote me today, and I actually respect this a little more. And he wrote I don't care. I rooted for the tank. I didn't listen to your show a minute. Bye. Okay. I mean, I think you're you sold your soul to the devil, but that's more respectable than
I rooted for the tank.
I rooted for the tank. I'm not listening to your bullshit.
God.
Have a nice day. He's a proud.
Rooted for the losses.
He was a proud tank. Proud for rooting for the tank, and he's not going to listen to me because he doesn't think there's anything wrong with it. Fuck you, Tommy. That's fine. That's actually more respectable, I think. I forgot to put your name.
At least he owns it.
Yeah, he owns it. He doesn't care, and that's one thing. And I he cursed me out or anything. It's the thing that gets me is these guys that we're still good fans. No, you're not. Not in
term anyway.
Look, it really doesn't. At the end of the day, let's be honest. It doesn't really matter whether you're a good fan or a bad fan. It doesn't make a bad person or a good person. But if you want to sit there and say, I'm so great, I'm with my team, nobody stopped, I'm with them. No, you're not. And I have plenty of people. You can look to that page. Buffalo Sabres are the worst fans on earth, and all they do is defend it. The other passive aggressive way to defend it was creative. Like, look, we've lost so many games. I know it's wrong, but I'm doing it anyway. You wouldn't understand, which is just bullshit. You know,
it's the worst argument.
You know, it's just
You just
okay.
don't
All
get
right.
it.
That guy was respectful too. Okay, you quit. You quit. You quit. I've lost too many games, and I've traded in my sportsmanship, and I'm willing to root for OT goals against. Like, I've never been comfortable. I'll be honest with you, because if Ottawa beat, I think it was the second to last game of the season. If Ottawa beat the Rangers, what they ended up doing, it was going to seriously hurt the Penguins. And I wanted to see the Penguins out, because I didn't necessarily want to face them first round, because you never know when they would be able to explode. And the way I looked at it was if they lose, I'm not going to be heartbroken because the Penguins. But I didn't cheer when Ottawa put one in against us. Yeah. Hey, what you got, Pittsburgh boy? I got a new caller calling in. So Jermaine, Dion, make sure you add me to contacts first before you give me a call.
I got to be honest real quick. If the Hawks were to do something like this, I think I'd find a new team. I don't think I could be a fan of a team that did this. I just couldn't.
If I knew for sure the management did it, I mean, I'd say
no. The management, I don't care about management wants. If I see the players laying pucks into the friggin' net, if I see players losing on purpose, I'm out.
One of the reasons like that I'm so this is because I saw those kids play a few games. And I think it's the greatest disrespect from the fans is to the players, and I think that's what bothered me so much. Yeah. It's disrespect to Zamas.
It's disgusting.
It's disrespect to these players. These players play so hard. Pittsburgh boy, what do you got?
Good series, Tommy. Good series.
Yes, good series. If you guys had any fucking brains, you'd own us, and I think you know that. Am I wrong?
Oh, they don't want it at all.
No,
get rid of
they don't want
Rutherford,
it.
Get rid of Johnston, get rid of Downey, bring back Bausma and Shero. Yeah. I don't give a fuck. This is getting ridiculous.
It is. And because you know what it is, it's such a tease for a guy like you because there's been a few times in the series like, holy shit, we got him. And it just doesn't, it blows up. We got him. 2 shout outs to Pittsburgh players that you should be proud of. Marc-Andre Fleury. Who's had a spectacular season, and Patrick Hornquist that is stirring it up. I would throw Maxime Lapierre in there as well, but I'm just throwing him under because of the fake injury thing. That's what I throw. But he's another guy that have really energized these guys. I'm seeing to be getting a lot of calls, Pittsburgh boy. I'm going to try to get them on as soon as I can. Thanks for calling, buddy. That's good Pittsburgh boy, good guy. I'm probably going to rotate him through because I do seem to be getting new callers, so we always want to make room for new callers. And Pittsburgh boy does get to call along. 951, you're on the air.
Hey, this is Dr. Deke.
Dr. Deke! What's going on, doctor? What's in your mind?
Not a mucho. How are you guys doing?
We're doing better that you called. Much better now. What's going on with you? How's life treating you?
Well, I have to stick to my promise. I got 21 subscribers now, so gotta hold my end of the bargain.
Yeah, pay up.
Well, we have to. That's right. You got to hold up your end of bargain. First of all, here's what I want to hear from you, Dr. Deke. Let's give the listeners something. Because you were going to reveal your ethnicity, which I know is exotic. If you got you 21 or 20 subs, we got you 21. We're going to keep doing it because we love you, and we want people to go. If you want a feminine perspective, and I think that's fair to say, on hockey, and really just, I don't know, I just get happiness when I watch your videos. You're just happy, and you're happy to be talking to me. So I could tell it's a real release for you, but it's not like a release like, I got to get off my chest. It's a release like, I'm happy. You know what? I was watching one of your videos, Dr. Deke, and I got hit with a ray of sunlight, and it knocked me on my ass. And that's where you should go for Dr. Yeah,
it's connectable, it's relatable, and you're well-spoken. You do a great job.
You're very well-spoken, too. No, that's
Thank you.
So
Thank
definitely check Dr. Deke. She's already posted in the chat. Make sure you give her a sub. She's wonderful. But she's living up to her end of the deal. Was I right? That's what I want to hear.
God, no. You're 100% wrong.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, Dave loves when I'm wrong. Okay.
I know. I'm waiting. I want to hear.
Okay. Now
Dave was actually closer, although he was pretty off too.
Oh, really? So what is your ethnicity?
I am a mix. I'm half Vietnamese, quarter German, and a quarter Yugoslavian.
Oh, so you are Caucasian and Vietnamese. Actually, we have one of our first listeners, Vincent too, was a Vietnamese. He's actually playing the juniors in Canada.
That's very cool.
That's how you make beautiful girls. That's
the
how
bigger one for
me
me is where you're from. That's the bigger one.
Canada. But I guess I was wrong about that too. You're not Canadian.
Not Canadian. I am American. I'm born and raised in Southern California.
Oh, God.
We should have figured that out. She does have the accent. Damn it.
I said Midwest.
You said Midwest? No, I didn't know her accent.
Midwest?
Yeah.
I watched your video today, and I was just like, I just felt at home.
We were talking about you today because
we talk about you more than we probably
we're creeps.
But Dr. D, here's where you're really going to kick yourself. You know where my dad's from?
Where's he? New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Yeah. Whereabouts? You know?
I think it was a town called Newmarket. I'm not sure if it's still called that anymore, although I do have relatives in Bayonne and...
I know where you live.
Yeah.
I know where you live. You live like where they filmed The Sopranos and stuff, like in Bayonne. Bayonne still looks like it does.
That's where my relatives are from.
Yeah. Bayonne still looks like it does. Like they filmed a lot of shots in The Sopranos, like the ones that took place in like the early '60s, because it hasn't changed one bit. Most of the time when they film movies in New Jersey now, if they want to be historical, they actually film them in Boston. Because it looks a little more like New Jersey, because Boston never got any better. But
Southern California.
Yeah, Southern California. I can hear the accent now. You know that?
Yeah,
I can hear it now. You're
an
LA
girl.
girl.
A lot. I mean, it's not like I'm saying it ironically. I mean it. But you're always saying, "Oh, you want."
What'd you say?
I knew she was.
I mean, you're always. Yeah, I'm not Canadian. I mean, I like Canada. I've been there. It's a beautiful country, but no, I'm not Canadian.
All right, here's my next question. Now it explains your heartbrokenness over the Kings loss, but you told me you're not a Kings fan. You're a Detroit Red Wings fan. How did that come to be?
Yeah, I do like both. I'll try and make it quick. I didn't grow up watching hockey. My family is like a basketball, football family.
Same thing here. Same thing here.
Yeah. And then when I went to college, I dated a guy who played hockey, and his whole family are like generations of Detroit fans. So I got caught up watching him play and then watching the games, and you get attached to the players.
Sure.
And
I wonder
so that's why I'm a Detroit fan.
I wonder with all the many women that were kind enough to date me, I wonder if I left a trail of Ranger fans all across the East Coast.
I doubt it.
Yeah, probably not.
I doubt it.
All right.
Never watch hockey again because of you, probably.
Kings, yeah, actually, I did have a girl leave me over hockey. Yeah, I swear to God. No. You won't feel bad after I tell you this. It's because I remember the Stanley Cup ended, and I made sure I watched like every friggin' game. She was great. And then I joined 2 inline leagues that summer. And she says, look, you're going to have to drop one of them or I'm going to leave. And you know what? The way I think like a guy, I'm like, you know what? If I play in those 2 leagues, I might meet a chick over there who likes hockey. And I said, well, it's up to you, late sweetheart. And she followed through. I'll give her that. I didn't hear from her again. So, yeah, I've lost over. But I'm an older man now. So I wouldn't do that because... I don't want to go. I don't want to ever.
Your options.
I don't want to have to. Well, you know what the thing is too. I don't want to ever date again. I'm done. I am done. Game, set, match. That's it. I'm finished. No way. It's, you know what? If something happens to Andy, God forbid, or something happens in my relationship, it's hookers and beer the rest of my life. I don't care. You know,
your options are diminishing by the day.
Yeah, I know,
older,
and I'm not getting any more
fatter.
I'm not getting any. Yeah, I'm getting heavier. Well, I've lost some weight since the beginning of the season. You know that.
You do look good. You look healthy.
I don't look as bad as I did when I went to Boston a couple months ago. All right, how do you feel about the Wings? I mean, you got to be happy with this series. Certainly, most people are taking the Bolts to go over Detroit. Where do you see this going from here?
You know, honestly, I had Bolts going over Detroit because as much as I love my team, I love reason. And it just didn't. You know, at the beginning of this whole playoff series, it didn't look like Detroit was going to advance, and the fact that they're 2-1 right now, no one is more surprised than I. So we'll see what happens later tonight.
Do you see them getting through this series?
I don't know. I really don't know.
You're a real fan. You're just like me with the Rangers. Like, Dave's always like this with me. He's like, Tommy, they're the best team in the NHL. They're going to win the President. They suck and they'll get all out in the first round. So, yeah, you're
you know what? I have advice that applies to both hockey and dating. Set your expectations low. You'll never be disappointed.
Are you sure you're not half Irish, too?
Right.
You know?
I might be. Who knows?
You might. I think there's some Caucasian in there that ended up being depressively Irish, because that sounds like my family. Well, if you think they're going to lose, you won't be so disappointed if they won't. That'll make you happy.
Luckily, I've dated a few women with that exact same mindset.
That's great. Yeah, that's right.
Worked out. It's
worked
out.
Yeah. And then you put a ring in that
Did
woman.
it work out?
It's worked. Well, yeah, 13 years of marriage, 12 years of marriage.
She's in the other room.
Oh, it worked out.
Yeah, she's sitting right on the couch,
right
giving me a stink eye because I'm talking about her.
With groaning. It's like, look at my husband. He's a nerd that talks on YouTube, pretending he's on a radio show.
She's just really here to kill spiders for me. That's about it. Other than that,
Nice.
Yeah, I know.
Hey.
That's true love. You got yourself a keeper.
Yeah,
absolutely.
See, here, this is what you have to look forward to when you get into your 30s. Goofballs like us. So just keep that in mind.
And I know what you're thinking. It's too bad that all of this is off the market. But,
my advice: get rich and buy a European man that appreciates you from like some horrible place in Eastern Europe. Okay.
There you go.
I'll stick with French Canadians. That's fine. Too.
There you go. Well, I gotta let you go because I got one. I gotta let you go because I got one calling now. You take care and go Wings, go. Take care.
Take care.
Bye, Dr. Deke. Mr. Dion, I gotta pronounce your name correctly. Germain Dion. Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, of course, it's tough to say it in English.
I would never say that a French Canadian especially, was a pussy to their face. But just do keep in mind, and you know what? You proved it. My guys, we're trash talkers, and that's what we're doing. But I've noticed you posting, and I'm really glad you're calling. What's on your mind? Even with this loss, I don't think you can be unhappy.
Well, I was expected that we get a loss yesterday, but I mean, the power play, man, the freaking power play was so, bad. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's where we lost the game. And I have just one another point. I mean, the linemen that give a penalty, to the Senators game. I know you didn't see it, but I mean, what the fuck he was thinking about? I mean,
I don't know.
I never saw that. It's been 2 years.
They got doctrines from the Lord. What can you do? You can't argue with faith.
I've never been comfortable with linesmen calling penalties. That means they're not linesmen. They're extra referees, and it's the same thing that when they want to add, like, they want to review just about everything. When I was a kid, there was one referee. Then they added two. Then the linesman could consult, which I'd never had a problem with. And now the linesman can call penalties. And now we're going to add more replay. And the simple fact is, while I don't mind having the two referees, nothing's going to make this game perfect. It's like Dave said, Mr. Cameron is Catholic, I'm sure, like you, and apparently he goes to church and prays a lot harder than you do, sir. And I suggest you get to St. Catherine's right now and do your job and make sure the Habs get by the next round.
Hit your knees, buddy. Hit
the knees. Hit the knees.
No, you're right. You're right.
And the Lord is with you, and also with you. Lift up your hearts. We lift them up for the light of the Lord. You know what I mean.
And when I saw the fake of Lapierre, I mean, what the Jesus Christ? I was like, man, really? You're such a. He's an asshole. That's it, man.
What are you gonna do?
I mean, what? Even if he's a Frenchman, okay, I'm sorry about what I said in the chat, but
you didn't say anything.
Right.
You didn't say anything wrong. We were no.
He was right.
I just was just trying. I was just trying.
Man, he's a hassle. I mean, what do you do? I mean, let PK be PK and play your fucking game, man. That's why we trade them. We trade him. I mean, if you asking the Canadian why you trade Lapierre, because of that. Mm-hmm. I mean, fuck, man.
I know. I don't know if it's Frenchie Ben or another French and Canadian guy. I think I used to play hockey with, and we were talking about diving, and French Canadians have the rap for diving. Certainly, there's plenty of English speaking and Czechs and Europeans that all do the same thing. It's not. Sure. It's not another thing. But I forget. I might have been Frenchie Ben. He said to me, he's like, when we are at home and we see it's a Frenchman, everybody looks at their feet and holds their head. I think Frenchie, it's just like, God damn it. It's almost like that old Chris Rock joke where it's like, 5 people were murdered down the street. Oh God, let them not be black. Damn it! That's the way. That's the old Chris
But
Rock.
other than that, I mean, they are all good series. I mean,
You guys got a real
this
shot.
year especially, I think it's very fun. I like to check all of them.
You got a real shot. I think the defense has improved a little bit. Certainly, Price looks like he's pretty much on his game.
Carey Price is the season of his life.
He's having the season of his life. This is the time to have it. I think he'll get better as the playoffs go on. I wonder, because it's something that I noticed that I don't think the mainstream media noticed. I think the reason the Rangers, and maybe one of the only reasons the Rangers beat them in the Eastern Conference Final, is I thought they were poorly conditioned. They weren't able to deal with a really fast team, and that's going to be their challenge. Can they? Yeah. Yes. And I think if they can get through, they can win the Stanley Cup this year. I hope not, but I think I'm going to be talking to you in the Eastern Conference Final because.
Well, I'm afraid. I'm afraid with the Bolts, man. If we play against the Bolts, I mean, I'm going to
worry about that yet. They're
no,
down.
I don't think you're going to worry about that. I think you're going to end up getting Detroit, and I think you could beat Detroit. Dave, you agree with me on that?
Yeah.
I think.
I think that would be a tougher series than people are thinking. I don't think it'll be a sweep, but I think you could beat Detroit. Tampa could be a tough out for you if that team plays the way it's supposed to play.
Well, there you go.
But I still like Montreal going to at least to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Are you related to Marcel Dion?
No, I wish I could, but no.
I wish he was my dad.
Me too.
I wish he was my dad. What an unsung hero, Marcel Dion. And how do I say your first name again? I want to get it right. Germain?
Oh, man. Germain.
Jamais.
You have to roll the R. That's the
Germain.
Jamais.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
wow,
Germain.
Dave.
I
Thank you.
We're getting the thing. Well, it's funny. Me and Dave live about, an hour and a half from France, and we don't know one damn word.
I'm a man of the people. I'm a cultured individual. I can't help that.
You don't even speak any German. I speak more German than you.
I just hide it really well so I can get out of shit.
It works.
That's nice, guys. I mean, you're fun. I mean, I listen to you with the Joe Cronin show, and I mean, you're so awesome. I mean,
thank you, man.
Look, one of the things me and Dave talk about this offline, and I think we said it once, when we get Canadian fans, not that we don't like American fans. We'll take any fans, but it does make us feel because we grew up looking up to you Canadians.
Validation.
It's like, oh wow, the Canadians think we're okay. So it's kind of extra special. We like any fans we could take. I'll take a fan from Japan, but when you guys call up and say I enjoy it, and you guys seem to know what you're talking about, I don't know about that. It does mean a lot. So I'll let you go. Germain.
Terminator, man. Germinator.
The Germinator. Well, guess what?
Yes.
You just got Germinator Dion. Guess what? You got your permanent shot from the point nickname. All right, buddy?
All right.
Take care. That was a great call. Let's put on somebody else. I know he's been trying to get through. Pat in South Jersey.
Patty.
What's going on, Patty? Here's the tip. Here's the tip. Use the same setup every time. Don't pull it out to move it to your Xbox or whatever the hell you're doing. The same setup every time.
Same logic when you're having sex. Don't pull it out.
Don't. Just you don't have to change the setup. You just keep it there. That's what I do with this. You think I'm that smart with computers? No, I just don't touch anything.
Exactly. He duct tape shit to it.
Come on, you've been waiting to call in. Say something.
I'm here. I was waiting for you guys to stop picking on me.
Shut up. Okay. All right. What's on your mind?
Well, Dad wanted me to call in so you can make fun of my voice again.
Really? Oh. I don't know. I'm not feeling very goofing on my fans today. You know what I mean? I'm not really feeling that way. And I got
a little violation with Pittsburgh boy. He changed his profile on Skype. His little picture there. It went from him wearing a Penguins hat to the Pirates logo.
Because he's ashamed.
Baseball season.
It is baseball season, brother. And
he's put that in the chat. I said, you got to have faith, man. Did I lose faith when the Flyers went down 3-0 against the Bruins? No.
Yeah, but his team is acting.
I mean, plenty of room on the golf course.
You know what it is? You know what it is? They're just acting stupid, and he knows it. And it's annoying. It's annoying to see all that firepower, and it's missing every shot. You know, it's annoying. And you're wrong about Marc-Andre Fleury, by the way. The guy's fucking awesome.
I know I'm wrong about Andre Fleury.
He's had a hell of a series.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has, and it hasn't been his fault. I guess his strength has worked.
Yeah.
Someone's got the the brain's working right. Absolutely.
I got to make a comment. Deb said something like, "Oh, I don't feel special anymore because Dr. Teeth." Deb, whenever Dr. Teeth hangs up, remember, you're always my favorite.
Well, I told her, I said, if she called in, you're going to blow a gasket because when have you had two women call it at the same on the
Yeah,
same
you
show?
believe that? I got to get Terry.
Just overload.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I do too?
You
I'll probably be in bed in the next, maybe like 15 minutes or so. And I'll go in there and I'll be like, "Baby, awake?" I had 3 chicks call me on the show tonight.
It's as close as you'll ever get.
I got a headache.
Yeah, I got a headache. That's all right.
You guys are absolutely right about the Caps and Isles series. I totally forget that those two teams are playing.
It's so bizarre, right?
Yeah.
Was it the last time that they met was what, 93?
Yeah.
Was that Dale Hunter put the hit on Turgeon?
That's right. I forgot about that. Oh,
Wealth
yeah, I was
of knowledge.
watching that game.
Wealth of knowledge.
That to me, I think it was the longest suspension ever that day. That to me, and this is, do you remember, Dave, when I couldn't say a nice thing about Dale Hunter?
Yes.
Like 2 years ago, and I told you about this situation, and I don't even think he's a bad coach, and look, it was 20 years ago. I think it was more than 20 years ago when it happened. God, it's 24 years ago. I got to be honest with you. That is one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen in hockey. And I like fights and I like violence. But I mean, to sit there and hit, you know what? He changed Pierre Bergeron's it was Pierre. No, Turgeon. Pierre Turgeon. He changed his career. He never really was the same. This guy was one of the he's a lot like Jonathan Tavares, very similar player. And he changed his career. And he never was quite the same.
Back in the 80s and the 90s, the Caps and the Isles used to have a really big rivalry.
Yeah, they did. But the Caps were always
I remember, 87, that 4 overtime game.
The Caps were always like really big, tough, and not a lot of skill. Especially Dino Ciccarelli, who was really tough too, even though he's a reasonably good skilled player. He would actually get traded to Detroit just as they didn't win the Stanley, just before they won their first Stanley Cup and went their bit of a run for the next 15 years.
We really shouldn't be too surprised, though, are we? I mean, we got 2 of the top 5 players in all of the league squaring off here.
The Islanders are underrated as it was. I've been saying that for 3 years now. Casey Zizekas. Oh, God, who's the Indian kid? I can't remember his name right now. Who's the other kid?
They brought in some Blackhawks, and that helped.
Yeah, that helped. Boychuk is big. It's so funny. The Boychuk Letty thing is very similar to the Niskanen Orpik thing that happened there. It's such a similar thing. And both of these, we looked at it. They're going to make these guys contenders. And boy, it happened. Defensive defenseman work, although Boychuk can make some moves in net. And
Letty can bury the puck,
Letty can bury it too. But they still, it's defense first with those guys. You still have them. They can do a lot of damage. That's a really good point. You got anything else, Pat? Because I think I want to go to bed.
No, I'm done.
You done? I love you. Welcome.
Bye.
Oh,
Bye.
bye. Poor Pat. Did you get picked on a lot in school for that?
No, I got picked on for my name, basically.
Patrick
I always
Gwynn?
got called Patty Mayonnaise.
I don't
The cartoon Doug.
I don't get
I
it.
knew where that came from, and that's why I'm laughing.
What's
And now since I'm a little older, it's hey Patrick, how's SpongeBob?
Yeah.
What? Who? What is
SpongeBob, dude.
What does it have to do with
SpongeBob's
SpongeBob?
gay little friend, Patrick. Yeah.
Is he the star? I just saw that movie.
No, it's his homosexual buddy. They're definitely gay. SpongeBob and Patrick are definitely homosexual.
Why? Because they're always arguing.
Yeah, basically. You knew they
I
married.
just saw the SpongeBob movie with my kid.
Oh, you wouldn't watch that?
Oh God, I fucking like.
You didn't like.
And then my daughter looks at me. We got up and watched the movie. The scenes with Antonio Banderas were kind of funny. And they were actually kind of funny. But I slept through.
He's always good.
I slept through. He is fantastic. I slept through like 90% of it. And then my
set
little
myself
girl,
on fire.
I'm literally like rubbing the crust out of my eyes. And my little girl goes, I said, baby, did you have fun? And she goes, yes, I love the movie. And she said it in English for a change. And I said, and then she goes, what about you? Did you love the movie? And it took me off guard because I figured she knew he was sleeping. So I was like, is this a trick question? And I looked at her and I said, It was so funny. And this big smile came out her face, and I knew I made the right decision.
Yes, lying to your child usually is the right thing to do.
Yes, lying to your kids is the right thing to do. I grew
The
up.
last time I fell asleep in the movies was when I went and saw Batman and Robin.
Oh, I don't blame you.
Oh God,
I
sorry
don't know.
for you.
Your kids want you to enjoy the movie with them, and SpongeBob is not my cup.
Just
of
gotta
tea.
lie to them.
She was so happy when I said that.
Just lie to them until they can understand you're an asshole.
We lied to him about Santa Claus, so why not? You lie to him about anything else.
My son and I like the same things: Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles. So it really doesn't matter.
I like Patrick more and more.
You know
every time
what?
I
You
call.
guys are Generation Y douchebags, and that's why I don't understand you. Bye, Patrick. I'm going to talk to Debbie now. Bye. Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Yeah, not good timing. Deb in Texas. Her team's up 3-1 on the Nashville Predators. Will Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane take it to the next round? What do you say, Deb?
That was good.
You like that? You should hear my Howard Cosell. The Rangers and the Nashville Predators are locked into an epic series. The rest of the Rangers, didn't I? Forget it. What do you want, Deb? What do you want, Debbie?
Well, I got two things. Johnny for Selkie this year.
Yes, I think Pierre Bergeron or Patrice Bergeron.
That's Patrice Bergeron. That's him. He's not getting it.
He got nominated too. And who else? For a Selkie.
Kopitar.
Who?
Kopitar.
Kopitar. Yeah. Let's see. So who got nominated? So it's Kopitar, Bergeron, and who else on the Hawks? I'm getting tired. Who?
Toews.
He's really a defensive forward. I don't know. I'd give it to Kopitar.
No.
I got to be honest with you. I give it to Kopitar. He's got a big body. He knocks more people down. But then again, he wasn't
looks like he'd take charge.
He wasn't
everywhere.
consistent all year. And neither was I guess you have to give it to Toews. Scored more
Gotta
goals.
give it Toews.
Yeah, I suppose. I don't know what makes him a defensive forward, but I mean, whatever. So how do you feel about?
Well.
How do you feel about? Are you guys playing tonight? I think you are, right?
Yes, tonight.
Yeah.
And it better not go to 3 overtimes again.
No, we're closing it out tonight in a statement victory.
That's got to be when that had to be heart wrenching. I mean,
Kane with the hat trick.
Yeah, that
natural hat trick.
Dave's the only guy in the world. In one of these days, if you bet on a hat trick online, you'd probably.
I'm gonna hit it one time.
You'd probably get like 500 to 1 odds. Like ridiculous odds.
I gotta be right sometime.
Yeah, eventually. If he has a hat trick, I'll fall over.
Oh, speaking of Patrick Kane, Dave, have you noticed he's been a little quiet?
Yeah, he buried one the other night. You know what he's doing? He's making really nice passes to other people.
Yeah.
He had a really nice helper in the last game to what's his name, Seabrook, and it was really, really pretty. He's been doing that a few times. It seems like everyone on the Hawks, even when they're not doing anything spectacular, they're just making these passes that are gorgeous,
they control the puck so freaking well. And it's like I said, they can work it into those places where you can score. It's one thing to hold the fucking puck, the other. Another thing to bury it. Not only are the guys to bury it, they have guys who can get it to places where guys that don't bury it that often could bury it. I mean,
they just do the little things.
It's sort of like watching.
And Antoine Vermette finally got a goal too.
Yeah, I know.
Finally, yes, Jesus.
Has he at least won faceoffs?
Oh yes, he has.
Don't worry, he's as useless as Keith Yandel. So
we gave him a first round for this guy. Come on, man.
That's really too. Living back to the Rangers series, the fact that they're scoring on the power play is really an indictment on Keith Yandel.
I mean, you've been all over this guy.
Yeah, it's not that I'm picking on him. I just don't know why we brought him over here. All right, he had a bunch of assists on a terrible team. Now
you needed Vermette. That would have been a much better fit.
It does seem to be a little better, and it wouldn't have mattered if he didn't score. But that means we had to get rid of one of our centers. So, I mean, who knows with this stuff? It's so subjective. Yeah, I think you guys are going to close it out tonight. I think you're done. You should be happy. Get some rest for the next round. Don't listen to what everybody tells you. You might have a shaky game 1 if you have a lot of rest, but it's not that important. You need the rest. You need to heal from your injuries.
Close it out. Let Kane get some rest.
Close it out as quick as you can. And you practice hard, and then you're ready. Nothing's like being a playoff game. It's like it's literally like going from hot to cold.
Quinville's not going to let them get relaxed.
No,
you don't
probably
worry
not.
about that.
Well, I worry about them a little more because they've been there so many times. That's why maybe I'm a little nervous that they've been there so many times. So what else is on your mind, Deb?
Well,
you're my favorite caller.
Well, I hope we have a long run this year because I feel like this is the last year that the entire core of players are going to be together.
Well, that depends on something that I don't know much about. That's cap stuff, and especially since Cap Geek went down, I can't check. I
think something very big happened that's going to help us, Deb. Something very big happened.
I got to be honest with you. I think you could change these as long as you keep the core, Duncan Keith, Taves, and Kane. You know, it's a very different team that won their first Stanley Cup to the one that won their last Stanley Cup. And I think the heart of this team is still very young and just about to hit their prime. I got to be honest with you. I think you got more cups in your future. If they win it this year, I really do. At least one more, maybe two. Yeah.
Darling
definitely.
Darling emerging is huge, Deb, because that gives us the flexibility to get rid of.
Oh my Lord, he's been so good.
We now can afford to get rid of Crawford and that ridiculous contract that we gave him. Believe me, he's going to be in hot demand. I know that he cooled off later in the year and he has not looked good in the playoffs. But he's got the track record. Someone's going to take him off our hands, and when that happens, cap space is free. I think the Blackhawks are going to be just fine.
Hold everything. Let's wait till the other team takes a lead and see how this goalie handles it. Yes,
I agree. I'm saying if things keep going the way they are.
I got to be honest with you, that's risky because you have these guys that get hot, and then you trade Crawford, who's more consistent. All of a sudden, this guy's maybe not an all-star.
What I'm meaning is, if the Hawks go and win the whole damn thing with Darling, if the Hawks Hawks get to Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals with Darling, you can make a move in the offseason and get a little bit younger at goalie and get rid of Crawford.
That's a good point. I mean, it might be worth the gamble to free it up so they can keep the team together. Just to get rid of Crawford's contract, but it's still a gamble because you don't know who this kid is and he hasn't been put under real pressure yet.
Sure.
You know, he looks good. He's big. There's no doubt about it, but he hasn't been put under real pressure.
You can't lose Saad. You can't lose Seabrook. You can't lose Sharp. These are guys that you want to keep in.
And you're eventually going to have to re-up their contracts, and you're going to end up losing them like Letty. Which was a bit of a blow when we saw that earlier.
You don't want to lose Hjalmarsson. You don't lose these guys.
Hjalmarsson and all that stuff. But Deb, you'll probably be in the final this year, especially because I think you'll crush the Ducks. So
I just don't think there's anyone else that good.
Yeah.
No one else is consistent.
You know, you're my favorite caller. Don't let anybody tell you different, Debbie.
Tommy, be quiet. Stop lying through your teeth.
Can I give you a virtual kiss?
No.
Why did you snort into the kiss? That's
what I do to my wife to wake her up. You know.
Oh.
It was a reaction.
That was kind of scary.
You're the best. You're my favorite female caller, right?
Sure.
You're cute too. You know that.
I love you, Deb, and you know when
why?
I say it, it's genuine.
Whenever I see you, I just want to pinch your little cheeks. You're so cute.
Okay.
Good luck to the Hawks, Debbie. I'll see you around, buddy.
Okay, you too.
Take care. You're the best.
She wants none of it.
She's mad. She's mad. She's mad that I'm seeing other women.
Yeah.
That's the problem. That's the problem with women.
I wouldn't want to share you either, personally.
Well, you know what it is? Actually, you don't.
Well,
you know, I've got a lot of love to give.
Yes.
Dave. And
you do.
That's one of the reasons I do this show. Because I want to give my love to the world, not only to women, but men. Yes. Hockey fans the world over.
Yeah. Thank God for that.
And I've used this line to get another girl in bed with us for the past year and a half, and it hasn't worked once. Not once.
Not once. But, keep trying.
It doesn't work. It's not like anything's going to be different. Don't worry, I'll still love you after. Other people do it.
Other people do it.
We don't even have to call them back.
The 70s were built on this.
I used to do it in college. The 70s, that's a good one. Look at those old porns. See those guys' big mustaches? They were doing it. They would. If I was there, they would have let me. No. I cannot share you.
And I don't blame her.
Really?
Keep you all to myself.
When she always comes back. Okay, can I sleep with other man? And I say, depends on which chick you're gonna let me bang. Last night in the National Hockey League, Kevin Hayes scores in OT to give the Rangers a 3-1 series lead over the Pens.
Welcome.
Yeah. You think it's done? Think Pitts takes one more game from them, kid?
No, I think it's over.
Senators edged the Canadiens for the first win in their series with a 1-0 victory over the Habs.
Good job.
Yeah.
Good for you guys.
Come on, I was expecting better than that, Dave.
It was good for them. They played hard. Good for them, but it's time to go.
Because the Christ Warriors, we are the Senators, and we never give up because we have God on our side, and PK Subban worships Satan.
We're on a mission from Gad.
We get a mission from Gad. Blues destroy the Wild. The Wild. Oh my God! Oh God! See, that's what happens. Sorry. The Blues. The Blues destroy the Wild 6-1. End 9-game postseason road losing streak. Oh, no wonder they haven't won the cup yet.
There you go. Got to win on the road, man.
Oh, arch enemy to the Jets. Ryan Kessler scores twice in the third period as the Ducks eliminate the Jets 5-2. Hats off. Hats off to those Winnipeg Jets. Hats
Absolutely.
off. Sorry to Terry. We love you. Sorry things didn't work out, but I really don't think you can be upset.
No,
I don't think so. Let's go over tonight's games in the National Hockey League, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Tampa Bay Lightning, they're in Detroit to take on the Wings. Don't let Dr. Deep
Must
down.
win.
Don't let Dr. Deep down. She's my favorite female caller.
Must win for Tampa. Cannot lose this in friggin' Joe Louis boxing arena. Can't do it.
Yeah, Joe Louis Arena. They don't even play yet. Yeah, remember that joke you told earlier in the year?
Yeah, it was a great one. I love that
Can't
one.
win. You know what my second favorite female caller is?
Me?
Patrick in South Jersey.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
Yep. Oh, sorry the Flyers didn't make it. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The New York Islanders take on the Washington Capitals. It should be a great season because Dead on Dave says it's the best series in the whole series, in the whole thing.
It is. It totally is.
9:30 Eastern Standard Time. The Chicago Blackhawks look to close it out against the Nashville Predators.
Yeah. I'm annoying the shit out of my wife.
You're supposed to lay a line at you, dipshit.
I'm sorry. I'm getting yelled at by my wife.
Oh, God. 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Calgary Flames, they take on the Vancouver Canucks in what's sure to be one of the great upsets of this first round. Isn't that right, Dave?
That's right. They're on fire.
Yeah. And the Calgary Flames are like, get out of my crew! The password today is